So I finally got around to playing Hogwarts Legacy, and this is a really great RPG game that immerses you in the world of Harry Potter. So if you're a huge fan of RPGs, or if you're a huge fan of the Harry Potter IP, it's really a perfect combination. I found myself having a great time flying around on brooms, battling trolls, battling dark wizards and goblins, exploring all over a really expansive map. I was pleasantly surprised to see that Warner Brothers really spent the time to make sure that this game felt like a fully immersive experience in the world. Of course, it doesn't take place during the exact same timeline as Harry Potter, but it does put you right back in the middle of that world, but about 100 or so years in the past. Even though I was having a great time playing this game, there were a few things that I wish were a little bit more intuitive at the beginning of the game that would have made my first couple of playthroughs that much more fun. This is 5 tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I started Hogwarts Legacy. Number 5, hidden outfits. So at the very beginning of the game, you realize that you're going to have to manage your inventory and your gear quite a bit. Especially as you pick up more chests, you will get more and more gear that's going to take up those inventory slots. And if you're an RPG gamer, you know to equip the strongest equipment that you can. But this leads to your character looking pretty ridiculous. Like my guy was rocking a red top hat, as well as dragon glasses, an asylum mask, and a really funky looking cloak. What is built right into the gear menu is the option to change the appearance of any material that you pick up, any piece of gear that you pick up, meaning that you can make sure that your character stays looking true to form so that you don't have any wonky looking cutscenes. You simply just need to go to the change appearance option on PS5, hitting square when you're looking at the gear menu, and you can change that piece of gear to look like anything that you've already picked up. Number 4, the disenchantment charm. At the beginning of the game, when you go into the restricted section of the library with Sebastian, you utilize the disenchantment charm, but you don't really utilize it again until you start taking on enemy camps. However, there is a key place to start using this early in the game, especially when you're strapped for galleons, or in this world, strapped for cash. And that is when you find the really large chests with eyeballs on them. If you just walk up to them, it feels like you can't open them until maybe some event later in the game. Turns out you need to get out of the sight of that eyeball, enable the disenchantment charm, and then walk up to the chest, and you'll be able to get 500 gallons a pop. This is super useful at the beginning of the game when you need galleons to actually buy potions, charms, seeds. Number 3, Horcrux locations. So Wiggenweld potions are the number 1 way for you to heal yourself in this game, and you have to concoct these potions typically in your room of requirement or in Professor Garlick's classroom, combining Horcrux juice with Dittany leaves. Dittany leaves are abundant. You will likely have hundreds of these that can sit in your inventory or have the ability to sit in your inventory as you go throughout the game. Horcrux, though, are not as easy to come by until a little after the first chapter ends. During the mission Friend Indeed, you'll help Sirona go and collect some letters from her past, and in the Horcrux Hollow, located on the north side of Hogsmeade, you will be able to gather dozens of Horcrux in one go. This location also respawns these Horcrux every 3 in-game days, which you can force to happen by using the R3 option in the map menu to wait. Number 2, lockpicking techniques. In the mission where you start to work with Gladwin Moon, he's going to put you down this path to start gathering demiguise statues because he's got a weird thing about them. He's apparently afraid of them. But in this case, he's going to teach you how to use Alohomora. So once you learn how to do Alohomora, you will be able to go into the minigame to start lockpicking. So there is a technique to this, but it could be a little frustrating if you don't know what to do, especially the first couple of times that you try this out. The trick to it is utilize the right stick and look at the gears on the right hand side of the screen. When you pull your right stick up into one of the slots, wait until those gears move. When they move a little bit, be a little bit more precise in your movement and they will start to spin rapidly. Using the left stick now, pull the stick into one of the slots. The same situation will happen, but with the gears in the middle of the screen, you will see a red light start to pop up in between the screw. Once that light pops up and those gears are spinning, all gears are spinning, those doors are going to open. And this applies to later level locks as well. It's just a matter of getting that trick when you first get going. Number 1, get out of the first chapter. I cannot emphasize this enough. All those side missions will still be there after the first chapter. Once you get out of the first chapter, which is signified by the seasons changing, the game really opens up. You have faster brooms for travel to really get into that immersive, expansive map. You have additional spell wheels, and you can now equip more combat options, defense options, and you start to really unlock upgrades to your clothing, upgrades to your character, has the ability to do more locks, and one of my favorite things, working with fantastic beasts. They're beautiful creatures that you get to save from poachers. You give them a wonderfully peaceful place to live, and you pet them, you feed them, and they make materials for you. Those are my top 5 tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I started Hogwarts Legacy. Let me know down in the comments if there are other things that you wanted to know when you started the game, and please like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for dropping by.